up guys, it's Spencer Ryan. Let's talk electric vehicles. So EVs have been getting a lot of hype lately. Porsche came out with the Taycan, Ford came out with the Mustang, and they're coming in at a lot of different price points. You've got Porsche, which went with the high-end luxury class vehicle. You've got Ford entering into the consumer market, more family-based. And then you've got the one who's been doing it the longest, Tesla. Now, Tesla cars are beautiful. They have a lot of technology in them. They've had a lot of time to put in some research and development to perfect their cars. But they've also had a lot of quality control issues because they were the first ones in the market. So my biggest question is a Tesla worth having right now? With all of the technology and all of the time and effort put into these cars, they are impressive vehicles, and I've kind of fallen for the hype. I really want one later this year. But the question is a Tesla a good vehicle? Is it worth having right now in 2021? Well, let's find out. So thanks to Tesla, I've been able to have this Model 3 for 24 hours. And what I wanted to do is show you, as someone who's never been in a Tesla, never driven a Tesla, what it's like to have one for 24 hours at least, so that you can make an informed decision as to whether or not it's right for you. So with that said, let's hit the road. So this is my first time driving a Tesla, and we're sitting in the Tesla Model 3 Standard Plus. The interior is beautiful, and I was looking for some cosmetic issues, some misaligned panels. I don't think I'm gonna find the flaws that most people find within the 24 hours. It's probably one of those things where you drive the car for a week and you start to notice little things here and there. One thing I will comment on is the intentionality behind the design. I've seen these in person, but never this close. And I've seen pictures, but once you're actually in the vehicle, you start to notice the little things around the design that just start to make sense. For example, this is a futuristic car. It's got self-driving capabilities, so you don't need all these buttons and gears and all kinds of things. You've pretty much got your one center console, your steering wheel, and a couple of buttons. The center console pretty much controls everything, so I can go in here and I can adjust the locks, I can adjust the autopilot, I can set the navigation to avoid ferries, avoid tolls. I can even set the climate control, and I could change the direction of the vents just by sliding my finger on the screen. It's got music streaming capabilities, it's connected via LTE, but pretty much anything that you want to control in this car can be done from this display, including the glove box. Check this out. Press the glove box button right here and the glove box opens. I find that fascinating. And of course, all Tesla cars get over-the-air updates, so as more progression gets made in the R&D field, Tesla can push updates to your car to enhance the functionality. Now, all of this is nothing different than what's on paper. So the question is what is it actually like to drive one of these? What is it like to experience it? So let's put this car through the ringer, see what it's like, see if it's justified by the cost, and see what it's like to have a Tesla for 24 hours. So right off the bat, it makes a lot of sense that there's so much hype around these cars because they are pretty incredible. And it's a much different driving experience than what I would have expected. The electric motors, by the way, you just heard the ding. It just told me that the light turned green, which is a pretty neat feature. The electric motors are extremely quiet and they're fast. I mean, max torque right off the bat. Because the car has regenerative braking, the way that you let off the accelerator is much different than what you would expect in a combustible engine. So if I'm heading towards a stoplight and I let go of the gas, it stops much sooner and it doesn't coast as well as it would in a car. But that, as far as I know, is completely up to the settings that you have it on. So if you dive into driving and you look at the stopping mode, it has 3 modes. You have creep, roll, and hold. Right now, it's on hold, and I like it. It's just hard to get used to, but I do feel like that's probably the way cars will be in the future. Now, the biggest thing that separates this car from other electric vehicles on the market currently is the fact that it does have autopilot and self-driving capabilities. Most of the car manufacturers out there who are putting out electric vehicles are making really nice high-end electric vehicles, but they don't have the self-driving capabilities. They don't have the research and development that Tesla's had and been putting in for the past 6-7 years. So that sets them way ahead in a market like this. The question is auto driving or autopilot any good? So what I figure we can do is we'll just go ahead and turn on autopilot. As soon as I get moving, we're heading back towards a charging station, and I'll show you what the charging experience is like. All right, so all I gotta do to engage autopilot is just pull down on this twice, and it's set my speed limit to what the speed limit actually is. And technically you're supposed to keep your hands on the wheel, and right now it doesn't have auto steering enabled, so I do have to steer for the vehicle. I can bump up the speed here to about 5 over the speed limit, and it is automatically accelerating for me. It's got all of the, right there, it made a mistake. So it determined that there was a stop sign. The stop sign was kind of misplaced and it was facing this road, but it was actually for a side road, and it almost stopped. So the technology already right off the bat is not perfect yet. And I imagine that Tesla's taking this data, analyzing it, and making it better over time. We're coming to a stop, so it completely stopped for me. But it was a little rough. And this entire time, auto steer was not available. Now you can see right here on the console, it's actually detecting all of the cars around. So it's detecting that there's an SUV right here to my front right. It's detecting that there is a car right directly in front of me. And I've even seen this, you know, show pedestrians. It shows traffic cones. It also has the traffic lights up ahead, so it can actually detect the traffic lights. So there is a lot of computational power going on in here, a lot of data being taken in from the cameras to analyze what's around you and make decisions quickly and effectively while in autopilot. So now we're on the highway, so let's try autopilot here and see what that experience is like. We've got steering control, we've got the automated driving experience is asking me to keep my hands on the wheels, which is obviously a safety factor, because even though a Tesla can drive itself, it's much in the beta phase, and it needs to know that you can take over at any time. We're not quite there to full self-driving automated experience yet. But right here, on this strip, I mean, the Tesla's handling things very well. And this is a very ugly road too. Shout out to the North Carolina roads that our taxes pay for. These roads are pretty ugly, and the Tesla's doing a great job of maintaining its lane, maintaining the speed, handling the traffic around me. It's pretty exceptional, actually. Even though you're not supposed to do this, I don't have my hands on the steering wheel. I feel pretty confident about what it's doing, but we're getting ready to get off. Apply slight turning force to the steering wheel. And it was ready to speed. It was ready to speed right through the off-ramp. So could that be because we don't have any navigation in and it doesn't know where it's going? It's definitely possible. But I did want to take over because I didn't fully trust it. And there's going to be situations like that when you can't trust the car and you're going to feel like taking over. But on long road trips, I think that having that auto driving ability is going to be clutch. So we're rolling up to a supercharging station. We're going to try the charging experience, show you what that's like, show you some of the entertainment features that you have, and do this for the first time. This is going to be new for me, so I'm excited to try this out. All right, here we go. And we're good. Put it in park, and I assume that I do this with the key wherever it is. And let's go try and charge this thing up. Shall we? All right, so I've never done this before. I assume I just pick this thing up, hold it near something. No? How's this work? How's he doing it? He's not. Yee! I've never done this before.
Dude, it worked.
There we go. Okay, That took a little bit of getting used to, but now I just plug it in. I assume that it knows exactly what Tesla this is. So it's probably charging the dealership right now as we speak. We're not charging them at all. But let's head back inside and see what we can see on the center console. All right, just like that, it is charging. We're getting about 55, 54 miles an hour. We've added 2 miles to the charge with 195 miles of range. And it says that it's estimating about 15 minutes before the charging is done. So let's take a look at the entertainment features. If I hop on over into the music button here, as a matter of fact, let's pull up here and go entertainment. We've got Netflix access, so you can sit here and watch Netflix while your car is charging. I mean, that's incredible. That's pretty awesome. I don't know how good the connection is, but we're gonna find out. All right, so obviously you need to have a Netflix account. I'm not gonna log in on this device because I don't want my Netflix account on here. So let's see how I can exit the app. Is there an intuitive way? This is good, actually, because this is the type of stuff that you would expect as a new Tesla owner. You know, how do I get out of Netflix on this big, gigantic console? It's probably super simple, and I just don't know. Click on screen. That should bring the title bar and X up. There we go. All right, so we're out of Netflix. You can watch Hulu, YouTube. Let's pull up YouTube. See if we can pull up my channel and watch a cool video while we're charging. I think that this was a smart feature because if you're eliminating the gas station, because when you get gas, it takes probably at most 2 minutes to fill up your tank. In a scenario like an electric car, you don't have to pay for gas, but you do have to charge the vehicle, which takes a lot longer than it would just going to a pump and filling it up with gas. So adding the entertainment is a neat little perk that you have, because say you're riding with your girlfriend and you are charging up the Tesla on a road trip or something, you guys can just sit back, watch an episode of your favorite show, and almost have like a little mini date. You can bring some snacks. There's plenty of space in here. I mean, the perks of being able to use this type of stuff while at a charging station, I think, was a really good decision. So let's go ahead and pull up YouTube here. Let's type in Spencer Ryan and see what it's like to watch myself on a Tesla screen. Let's do my dual desk setup home office tour. Relevant ad placement. That's pretty incredible. I mean, my YouTube video is playing on a Tesla right now.
What's up, it's Spencer Ryan.
That's wild.
One of the most requested videos that I get on a daily basis is my desk setup tour. And that's why I'm really excited for 2020.
Change the quality to 4K. See what it's like on a Tesla monitor. This is
2021 to show you a dual desk setup tour. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I have 2 different desks for 2 different purposes.
Enough of that. That's pretty cool. I mean, I can think of a million different reasons why I would be watching a YouTube video while sitting in my car just waiting for it to finish charging. It's almost like you get a little bit of your day back, right? You're always in that constant hustle, the constant flow, whatever you're working, whatever the case may be. If you need to stop and charge your Tesla, you kind of get a break and you're almost forced to go do something fun, go watch a video, whatever the case may be, take a business call, go on a Zoom meeting. That's really awesome. It's been a couple of minutes. We now have 200 miles, still saying 15 minutes remaining. And as of right now, it's added 6 miles and that's cost me 24 cents. Well, not me, it's cost Tesla 24 cents. Thanks, Tesla. But, so when the Tesla first came out, you got grandfathered into the unlimited supercharging plan. So when Teslas were rolling out, pretty much as long as you bought a Tesla, you could go to any Tesla supercharger and charge for free. That changed recently within the past 5 years. Now you actually have to pay when you're charging, but it is cheaper than getting gas. So there are savings there. It's just not a tremendous amount of savings. For example, my 2018 Honda Accord takes about anywhere from $20 to $30 to fill up a tank. The guy at the dealership was saying that this could take probably about $12 to $15 to fill up the range to the max. So I'm getting less miles in the Standard Plus than I would filling up the tank in the Honda Accord. It is coming out to a little bit cheaper, but you do have to factor in the fact that now you do have to pay to charge. Here's another little thing that you can do. You can actually play games. I know that Elon was saying that in the new Model S, you will be able to play Cyberpunk on it. That's pretty insane. But they do have games on here, so whatever catches your eye, let's try Solitaire and see if we could play that. It's pretty cool because I can actually see the charging on the left, and then I could play Solitaire on the right. So I haven't played Solitaire since the Windows XP days. Don't remember how to do this. I think I would put my... Yeah, I don't remember how to play Solitaire. But if that's your thing, you could play Solitaire in the car too. Karaoke, I definitely see this being used on road trips when you're with your family or your significant other. It's a long trip, you just want, you know, something to do, you want to sing in the car. People do that already, so it's a neat little feature. Probably not something that I would use often, but it's there if you're into that kind of thing. You obviously have Spotify. You can stream through the Tesla streaming service. You can also connect your phone over Bluetooth. Speaking of connecting your phone, I thought this was very neat and intentional. So down here, you've got 2 slots for phones for the driver and the passenger side. If I set my 12 Pro Max down here, it's actually wirelessly charging now, which is really neat. Having a wireless charger there is really cool. I could pick it up, put it back down. You guys know I'm a huge fan of wireless charging. And so if it's connected over Bluetooth, I could play Apple Music, Google Maps navigation. Even though Tesla has its own navigation, this does not have CarPlay or Android Auto, so you can't use Apple Maps on the screen or Google Maps, but you could play it over Bluetooth if that's your thing. But you could take phone calls, listen to music, you know, hop on a Zoom call, whatever the case may be, have it playing through the speakers and still be charging your device so you're not draining it constantly. All right. So we just got notified that charging was complete. It cost about $2.50. It estimated that it would take 15 minutes and it took about 30. So I'm not quite sure where the disconnect was there, but either way, it was a fun experience to sit down, watch a couple of YouTube videos while the car charged. Now we'll take it out. And I'm not sure if I don't have to do anything. So let's head back on the road and talk more about this bad boy right here. So the charging experience was pretty cool. I anticipate that if I were to get one of these myself, which we're thinking about in the fall around August, because that's when my current lease expires on my Honda, I would probably need to be able to charge it at home. There's not a lot of superchargers here around Raleigh. As a matter of fact, the one that I just went to is pretty much the only one that I know of in my area. So it'd be cool to, you know, come to the store, sit down and charge it, but most of the charging I anticipate would be done at home, or if we're on road trips, at the charging stations on the trips. So let's talk about the driving experience. I've had a little bit of time to drive it, and I've kind of put it through the ropes a little bit, and I'll say this. Everyone talks about the torque of electric motors. Everyone talks about the performance of Teslas. And no matter how much they talk about it, it cannot prepare you for this. I'm at 47 miles an hour within a matter of seconds. And that is truly, truly incredible. It feels like this feeling in the pit of your stomach, like riding a really fancy roller coaster or being in some type of video game or movie like Tron. It is an incredible feeling to feel the max torque from these motors just going. As soon as you floor it, it's ready. And I love it. I think that it takes some getting used to because there's a lot of power. When the Roadster comes out, that's going to be crazy. The new Model S rather was just rumored to have, I think, 0 to 60 in 2.9 or 1.9 seconds. I can't remember. I'll put it right here. But that type of performance is unheard of. You don't see those kinds of things in combustible engines, and you get that with a car like this. And on top of all of that, a car just like this comes in at about $56,000. So that's incredible to me. I think that being able to get such a powerful, technologically advanced car at such an amazing price is Tesla's bread and butter. And even when people are talking about the quality control issues, I think that that's kind of what has to happen. There is a saying that says if your first product doesn't suck, then you did something wrong. And I think that that's how Tesla built their entire model. They wanted to just go to market, get the R&D, get the data, figure out how to, build this system while getting people to beta test it. And so even though everything isn't perfect, these are not expensive supercars. They are attainable by the average Joe, like people like me and you. And so they use that, get people in the cars, figure it out, make it better over time to finally have a final product that is perfect. You have to understand that Tesla is going up against car manufacturers that have been in the game for 50, 60, 70 years. Tesla's been doing this at most for about a decade, and they've already made so much progress. And I think that's worth so much more than the little quality controls issues. It lets you look over little things like that because you're getting such an amazing car for such a low price. All right. In less than 2 hours, I'm gonna take this Tesla back to the dealer to its rightful owner. Over on Instagram, I asked everyone to let me know what their questions were regarding Tesla, regarding the Model 3. So I wanted to address some of these questions and give you some of my perspective and some of the things that I've learned. All right, so first question, how much did it cost? Well, fortunately, it didn't cost me a dime because I actually am using this for 24 hours. Tesla gave me the opportunity to test drive it for 24 hours, make some content around it. I am making an informed decision, however, this fall, whether or not I want to get one of these cars. Now, with that said, when I do eventually get one, I think it is going to be the Model 3. And I do want the long range version because I do feel like the 263 miles out of this one isn't enough, and I'll go over that in a second. Also, I'd really like to have all-wheel drive so that if I ever find myself in snow, I'm covered in that aspect. Now, the thing is, I have a 2018 Honda Accord, and my lease payment for that Accord is about $350 a month. And if I want to lease a Model 3 long range with the full self-driving package, it's going to cost a whopping $756 a month. That is over 2 times the payment of my Accord. And I'm not 100% confident that this car is worth over 2 times my Accord. Don't get me wrong, the technology in this car is fantastic. I love it, especially as a tech head. I love it. But I don't feel that much different than I do in my Accord. As a matter of fact, my Accord has the lane keeping assist, the automatic adaptive cruise control. It can't change lanes for you, but outside of that, it feels kind of similar, honestly. Maybe I haven't got a chance to put it through the ringer enough. Again, it's only been 24 hours, but I'm just giving you my perspective with 24 hours with the Tesla. I love the car, I want the car, but I'm not sure that it's worth $756 a month to me. I'm gonna have a really hard time justifying that, even as a business expense. So over the next 6 months, my goal is to be able to replace the difference. So the 756 minus the 350, to replace that with some type of passive income so that I could at least justify the cost. Favorite part of the car, greetings from Colombia. So ironically, my favorite part of the car is probably the least exciting part. It's the wireless chargers right here in the center console, because I was really worried about Apple CarPlay and not having Apple CarPlay, because I use CarPlay every single day in my Honda. And the truth is, I don't need it. I mean, the Tesla has the maps, it has the music, it has the Netflix, it has everything. So all I need to do is connect my iPhone via Bluetooth, and then I could just set it down right here in the wireless charger, and it's charging for me. I love that there's 2 of them. So one for the driver and one for the passenger. I don't know. I really like that feature. How was the process of getting a Tesla? Well, I don't know. I didn't buy one, so I couldn't tell you what it's like to buy one. But I will tell you that the dealer was much different than I expected. It's almost like the dealer's just there for show. I feel like Tesla's really trying to get people into like the delivery, the automated process. I could be wrong, but it didn't feel like I was walking into a car dealer. It felt like I was walking into like a virtual showroom type thing. Why Tesla? Well, I think you're asking why Tesla because you think that I bought the car, and I haven't bought the car yet. But even if I did buy the car, the reason I would want to get a Tesla is because I just think that this is the future of cars. I think that Tesla's been putting in the most research and development over all companies, and they're doing a good job. I think that the cars are really well done. I personally didn't find any design flaws or misaligned body panels that people complain about. I think that a lot of the people that complain about Teslas and think that there's a lot of issues with Teslas are the ones who don't have Teslas. I think most Tesla drivers love their Tesla. I haven't met one who doesn't. So feel free to throw it in the comments if you have, but I don't know, Teslas just make great cars. Why not the Model X? So the Model X, I just don't like the design, plain and simple. I haven't driven one, but I don't like the look of it. Realistic mileage you get with a full battery. Great question. So again, 263 miles out of the Model 3 Standard Range Plus, and I didn't get anywhere near that. It is highly dependent on how you use the car. If you floor it, you're gonna lose a mile instantly. If you floor it a couple of times, you're gonna lose 5 miles. This car is not consistent with the 263 miles. I think you could probably expect 200 to 210 out of it, depending on how you drive it. I don't know. It's not what you see on paper, but that's another reason why I really want to get the long range version, because I just feel like, you know, if you have 260 miles and then you really only get 200 out of it, that's not enough. I need like a good 300 miles for it to be my car. Is this the new? No, it is not. This is the precursor to the new. Let's see if I end up getting one. We'll see. Are you concerned about driving it in the snow since it's rear wheel drive? Yes. So that's another reason why I want to get the Long Range Plus, because I do want the all-wheel drive. I'm not sure how well this car would drive in snow as a rear wheel drive car. What I can say is I've driven plenty of rear wheel drive cars, and this one handles like a champ. I mean, I can floor it, and it is gunning, and I don't lose grip at all. I mean, it hugs the road. Drives like a champ. With that said, I don't know how realistic it would be to drive a Tesla in the snow as a rear-wheel drive vehicle. So I am a little concerned about that, and I would like to get the long-range version because I just want the all-wheel drive. What's a full charge time difference between using a supercharger versus plugging in at home? I wish I could tell you. I don't have a home to plug it into. Even the supercharger experience was a little weird for me. So supposedly the superchargers are really fast, but I went twice and I noticed that it varied drastically each time. So at one point I think I was getting like 100 miles per hour charging, and then at another point I think I was getting like 25 to 26. I'm not 100% sure how the superchargers work, and it was I don't know. It was kind of weird because I was expecting to pull up and be charged in 30 minutes and be out, and that is not the case at all. And I know that superchargers are different across the nation. You'll get different experiences, but the fact that I could go to the same place and experience a different charging time at different times of the day, that kind of felt inconsistent. I know for a fact that when I get one, I want to be in a home so that I can charge it at home, so that I could just leave the car overnight and let it charge. I don't want to have to always go to a supercharger and sit there for an hour so that my car can charge. That's just a little inconvenient to me. How's the sound quality of the speakers? Really, really good. I was pleasantly surprised. Build quality. Any major flaws in the fit and finish of the car? I have yet to find any in this car. I don't know if it's because it's a test drive version and they just picked the best one, but I looked and I didn't find anything out of the ordinary, especially for a $55,000 car. Actually, this one I think is like 30 something thousand. But yeah, no, I didn't find anything. The build quality is great. I was pleasantly surprised. How easy is it to find a charging station? Really easy, actually. All you gotta do is go to the map, click the little charging icon, and charging stations pop up all over the place. How does the acceleration feel compared to a gas engine? Oh my goodness. It's like being in a spaceship. Can you play any video games on the display? Yes, you can. Actually, it's got a little entertainment system here, so you can just click entertainment, go over to the arcade, and there's Solitaire, Polytopia, Fallout, Shelter, Beach Buggy Racing. There's a lot of games on this thing. Can you link CarPlay? No, unfortunately you can't. I'm hoping Tesla changes that in the future, but again, for anybody super concerned about CarPlay, as a daily CarPlay user, I don't miss it in this car. All right, so with that said, 24 hours later, and it's time for me to turn this car in. I am gonna miss it. I really enjoyed driving this car. For anybody who's interested in a Tesla, if you can get your hands on one and drive it, I recommend you do so. It is an out of this world experience. I don't know. This is definitely the cars of the future, and I hope that other manufacturers can catch up with the automated self-driving experience and things of that nature. With that said, also, by the way, the automated self-driving experience was extremely confusing for me. I could not figure out how to engage it. I could have Googled it, but I don't have a lot of time with this car, and I didn't want to get too caught up on it because the guy at the dealer actually said, you know, it's in beta. They didn't really want to explain it to me how it works because it's not there yet, and so I don't think it's fair to judge it in a time of beta. But if you're looking into a Tesla for that reason, just know it's not there yet. It's pretty cool. I did try the lane changing while I was in Autopilot on the freeway. That was cool. My Honda cannot do that. It changed 3 lanes for me without a problem, detected traffic, did everything. That was neat. I tried to put in the maps for me to go somewhere and for it to drive me there, and it kept passing my turning point. I don't know if I was doing it wrong or what was going on, but the automated self-driving experience isn't 100% there, but it's pretty neat overall. This car is a beautiful car, and the question is, after spending 24 hours with it, have I decided, will I get one? The answer is probably. I probably will get this when I turn my Honda in. The deciding factor is going to be whether or not it makes financial sense for me. I tend to be a very frugal person. I'm very financially responsible now, and I don't think that I can justify $756 for a personal expense. So, a couple of things have to happen. It has to be used for business so that I can write it off, and I really have to make up the difference, if not all, of the payment with some type of passive income source, whether it's YouTube AdSense, whether it's affiliate income, whatever the case may be. So with that said, like this video, subscribe to my channel if you enjoy videos like this, because there will be more. I hope you enjoyed my 24 hours with the Tesla video, and I hope it was able to give you some type of perspective into what you could expect if you were in a Tesla. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the car. What are some other questions you may have? I probably will do a follow-up video in the future. And as always, follow me on Instagram at @TheSpencerRyan. Make sure you subscribe here, and I will see you on the next video.